Okay, there we go. Okay, well, welcome to Bliss Unit Live. We're so glad you could join us today. Okay, today what we are going to cover is closing in several different forms. It has been mentioned to cover individual closing again. So I just wanted to go over that. I feel that closing is so critical piece of your business, and you can never get enough training on it, as well as it's good practice, especially if you don't have, she's saying she can't get on. Hold on. Okay. Okay, let me turn off. Okay, apologize for that. So, you know, there could be, again, a key or a nugget. It could be a matter of a simplification of literally a word or two that you make a minute adjustment that can help you. And so I want to go over that as well as one of our consultants had also mentioned, you know, what can you do when you're at the studio and there's all the rooms are packed out? How do you pivot and how do you make that work? And so in order for you to look professional and not look frazzled in front of your guest, and to be able to maneuver that with ease, that they don't notice, because obviously once you possibly get stuck in that that overwhelming emotion of what am I going to do now, what happens is there's a trigger in your mind that is hard to slow it down a little bit to the pace so that you can not forget every detail of what you need to cover, especially right now when you're, one, possibly trying to master that. Two, all of you on here and the women that are going to be listening to that have a goal in mind. Maybe not necessarily director, but they want to move up in their career path. And so it's really helpful for you to master these skills as well as learn, and it's important for you to overcome objections as well. So I'm going to go over that as well. That will be helpful. But a couple ways that can really help you before we go over objections that I can say that will help you is just going over, even if you have to play it over and over, or if you have to take a couple flashcards, what are your three main questions so that it starts to it starts to become the mastery in your mind, that you memorize it. For example, probably the two of you on here know your presentation fairly well. Yay, it worked. Hello, Jan. We're talking about closing. And so how do you become more confident in that as well as master that so that it's embedded in your mind? Literally, if you woke up in the middle of the morning and, you know, you're not awake, you didn't have coffee yet. Joy, what are the three questions that you ask without, you know, at a dime thinking about it? You automatically know what to say. Okay, so that's one thing that will obviously help you. And again, it's not any different than possibly one of our brand newer consultants that aren't as seasoned, going over the presentation over and over again. And of course, the more appointments that you have, the more faces that you're in front of, that will obviously become more at ease. But in the meantime, what you can do is either write flashcards or listen to it over and over and over again. One thing that will help is, and I can speak for myself, and I don't know if it's different for you, when you're trying to reprogram your mind, let's say our closing was a little bit different. We didn't ask the exact three questions as we're doing now. So trying to reprogram your mind. Okay, what did I used to say before? Now what is the new? What are we doing new that's now? Okay. And so that will definitely help you as you are playing and hearing it over and over again. And if it's helpful for you to, if you're possibly not taking notes, would it be easy in those questions? I know we sent a video out a while ago and we did a training, but again, it has to be fresh in your mind constantly where you can literally play it. Like, for example, when Leah would teach something, in order for me to master that, I'd have to hear it and play it over Voxer over and over again until I became confident in my presentation. Because then all of a sudden I'd be like, she's off teaching consultant and I am a red jacket, so she wants me to teach. And we had a lot of guests all the times at the meetings going, okay, you know, you don't want to forget anything and you want to be professional in what, you know, you want to obviously master those skills. So in order for you to master those is really literally just doing it. And the great thing is your customers aren't going to know if somehow you slipped up. But in order for you, it's very helpful for you to either, and every person is different in how they learn. And so is it more helpful for you to read over and over? Is it more important? And this is what I want you to identify in your learning style. Would it be helpful for me to play it on Voxer? Would it be helpful for you to listen to this video over and over again? To write it out on flashcards? What is it? Or just reviewing the individual consultation and our presentation, our paperwork over. So what is it that's helpful for you? And so maybe make that your homework if this is something that you would like to become stronger at, because obviously the more that you do it between now, let's say you don't have appointments until the end of the week. Everybody's schedule is different. And so if that's the case, then what can you do, even if it's in your weekly plan sheet? You know, you have different things going on, but where in your pocket of time, like for example, you know, I had appointments at the studio and you know, I have other things in my schedule throughout my day. So what I did last night was I wrote out something that I feel that we need a checklist for our entire unit for a specific area. So that was something that I worked on before I went to bed and after I did my booking calls. So where can you identify, even if it's 5 minutes, I mean, 5 minutes to replay, I mean, even something 2 times is definitely manageable. But this is one thing that will definitely help you versus just talking about it today, but there's been no action between now and whenever your next appointment is. Then you feel like, okay, what did she say again? And you may be one of those type of learners where, for example, Jeremy, you tell him something once and it's like embedded in his mind. He could, you know, he just doesn't get lost. He's very, you know, but I'm not like that. Sometimes I am, but not always. And so, you know, you're the only one that knows that. So how can you become better at something that you are trying to become stronger at? And what will help you is obviously there's key areas in your business that will strengthen your sales, will move up, you will feel more confident, and you will see a different scenario at the end of all your appointments versus possibly skating by or having the emotion of frustration. There's many different emotions that you could feel at that time, but this I feel that will definitely help you identify what are these areas to strengthen. Okay, so I want to go over a couple different things before we go over the actual paperwork and at the end, what I'd like you to do is, whether you've been in a scenario or whether you have a question, whatever it is that you want to bring up, please do so that we can obviously master it and go in it together, because you could have had a different situation than I have, or there's always that point in our business where like, oh my gosh, like this has this only happened to me, right? It's just like way off the charts. And so you just obviously never know. One thing that I feel that there's always this is, and again, we are servants, obviously, of the Lord. He has us doing this. And Mary Kay, she always said, and so this is not just the Lord, but also what Mary Kay would say, because obviously God was her business partner when it was just, she was brand new opening the doors. She always said, you're going to have a different outcome when you go in without, you have to know the Lord heard your prayers. He knows everything about you. So he knows if you need the money. He knows if you need brand new customers. He knows if you need new team members, whatever it is, everybody's different. So the reason why I say that is if you truly believe the Lord knows, he knows. And so when you come in there without this desperation, and obviously serving and making women feel good is what we do. Mary Kay always said, if you have a sign wrapped around your neck, it's to make me feel important. It's not to, oh my gosh, I have this bill to pay, or I'm just in a desperate. Then that shows in the reflection of your presentation. So it will help you when you just naturally throw everything at the wayside at the doorstep. If you're walking into the studio, or if you are walking into your appointment, the one thing that she always taught us that would be very helpful is, leave it, say a prayer and leave it right there. And you could be having a good day. You absolutely could be, but we all have life that happens, whether it's health, whether it's our children, whatever the case is. So what's helpful for you is to go, okay, I'm going to come in with a positive attitude and perspective that, this is what my job is. I love doing what I do, regardless of what the outcome is, because the more fruit that you plant, the more you're going to reap, right? So you have to go in remembering that, because then what happens is you're going to be surprised in your outcome. And so when Mary Kay Ash always says, when you're serving others, you will reap even greater than somebody that didn't have that in their mind or literally their heart. So, the gratification of making women feel good at the very end is just, there's no price tag on it. And so when you go in, and of course it happens to all of us, whether you're a national sales director, whether you're a director, whether you have absolutely no team members, you're always going to have someone that is this scenario that they just can't. They absolutely. Now I want you to put yourself in their shoes. We've all had, where our business has been lucrative. There's been times where you're in a desperate need and you need the money. Okay. That's just a fact of life that all of us go through, unless you're like born into rich, that's a whole different scenario. So what happens when you're in your closing? And again, we're going to go over closing. What happens when you have that person, and can you overcome the objection of changing it to, I don't have any money and I love the products, but I don't have any money? Do you know what to say? Do you know how to overcome that objection? How do you change versus just being shut down, going, oh, great. Now, I hired a babysitter. I spent all this time. I left my family, whatever it is that's going through your mind. I did all this for nothing. Okay. So, and then you forget to answer question 2 and 3, and you forget to book her glamour because you were stuck in, she can't buy anything. Okay, so one thing that will help you is to overcome your objections. So that's one thing that you want to do, because it happens to all of us, is what do you do when she says that I can't afford anything? And so I want to go over that. And so, for example, on the back of her profile sheet, we have the 3 questions that they answer. And again, we'll cover that in just a second. But what do you say when she says that? Do you know what to say, or do you just move, lots of different things can happen. Okay, so what you can say is you have to remember not to talk, because it is hard to, of course you're taking the lead and you're trying to, close her out. Is I see that you have selected that in question number 2, that your favorite, if money were no object, that you would want to take home, let's say she wrote the miracle set. Okay, I see that you selected the miracle set. How would you like to pay for that? Check, credit card? So she chose that, remember? She chose that she wanted the miracle set. So you just go right into assuming that because she chose that, you're not giving her the ticket to say, well, I don't have the money for that. Of course, that could happen, but you go straight into, how would you like to pay for that? Credit card, check, or how can we get that for you? And then you're silent for just a minute to let her answer. Okay, if she does come back to you and says, well, I just don't have the money for that right now. And then instead of saying, okay, I understand, I know you don't have the money. Instead of saying that, what you would do to overcome her objection is that's when you would take her profile, not her profile sheet, her fabulous referral sheet. And depending on, let's say she has 5 names, at that point you would say, okay, well, we do have a way that we can help you get that for free. So when we book your follow-up appointment, and you bring your 5 friends with you to join you at your appointment, that is a way that we can either earn the ultimate miracle set for you, or she can take outside orders. You're gonna say, how can I help you to get that? I know that that's something that you would love, and I would love to help you take that home. How can we do that? So you're not just ending it, I don't have the money. You're actually helping her figure out and finding a way to do that. Because I've been at appointments before where they're going to sit there and women are smart, and when they know that they want it, they want it. Okay. They're going to find a way, make a way. But if you end the conversation where you're just saying, okay, then you're not helping her find a way to get that. I've been at appointments where I've had a bride, and she just, all their money's tied up in a million different things. It's so expensive. It's just ridiculous what the costs are. It's just extravagant. Okay. She ended up being a team member in our unit, and somehow she mysteriously figured out a way after we role played. How did she get the miracle set as well as sign up, right? You just don't know. But the key is to overcome objections and work with her. Okay, can you do a deposit? Can you do a deposit of the $20? Can you pay half today? But role play and figure out. Everybody's needs are different, but how can you help her? And if she knows that she already gave you 5 referrals and that you're going to be calling, if she can take the profits to get whatever her basic set, whatever it is that she selected, then help her figure that out, because she will appreciate that, and she'll be excited again. She'll be excited to go to her follow-up appointment with you, whether she selected spa or glamour. And so does that help you kind of overcome your objection when you versus just stopping at, okay, I can't afford it? Does anyone have any other questions? Did I give you enough scenarios? Okay, good. Let's see, hold on, I just want to make sure. Okay. Okay, the next step that I want to do is that I feel is very, very, very key, that's helpful for you before you get to the individual close itself. Okay, and so I don't want to forget that because it's key. So in the beginning of your presentation, you're going over your why, and you're getting to know everybody around the table, and hearing what they do and building that relationship in the beginning. Right after your why story is where you're going to pretty much essentially let them know what the agenda is for the evening. This is what we are going to be doing. We're going to start out at this point today. I'm not going to go into great detail because it's more on closing today, but this is what we're going to do today. These are everything that we're going to do today. Sorry, my allergies are nuts. At the very end, I'm going to find out what your favorite absolutely products were that you tried today, as well as we're going to book your glamour appointment. This is your second. This is your first of your second. That's included in your package or your session, whatever it is that they've come for. Everybody's different. What you booked them for. At the very end, I'm going to get your opinion. We're going to schedule your appointments, and I am going to meet with all of you individually at the end. Okay, so that's a key factor is they know there's no question in their mind, like right when you're doing raffles, like, okay, get up, it's time to leave now. They know because you have already specified that you're meeting with them at the end. And of course, at the very end, once you're finished with your closing and you've done your marketing, of course, you're going to say, who needs to leave first. And so then you're obviously going to take them out of the room. Okay, so if you are presented with the scenario of the studio being packed, even if you have to, and I've done this before myself, all the rooms could be packed, or you could be, at somebody's house where you're doing, and this has happened to, I think, all of us literally that's on here, where it's like a studio apartment and there's nowhere to go. Okay. The key thing is, and I'll give you both scenarios, is one, you're at the studio and it's all packed. Okay. Remember, you're all leaders and you all can think quickly, and literally what I do is I have my one bag that's not of my product. Okay. And whether it's at the studio or whether it's with me doing a private appointment at somebody else's house, I have one that's like all my suitcase with all my product. I have a different starter kit bag, and that one has my money bag, my catalogs, my profile, everything that I need. Okay, so that one I'm going to quickly pick up because that's all you need. It has your hostess package, your recruiting, everything in there. So you're going to quickly pick that up. Let's say I'm going to go to the front lobby. Even if you have to stand and there's not 2 chairs, I think there is. I think there's exactly only 2. Is let she or one of you sit and literally do your closing there. Even if all the rooms are packed, then move directly to there. If that's not an option, possibly you move to the opposite side of the room. And it's not that they can hear everything, so it's somewhat private, but you're making the best scenario, the best possible that you can come up with. Like, for example, even in the big one in the Cadillac room, there's other people closing other people out, as well as it's kind of loud, so they're not hearing what they say. So that's another place. Even if you have to go to the opposite end of the room, there might not be any chairs. So that's when you just automatically, well, there's no space. Okay, where can we go next? Lobby. We've even done it where people have went out right when you go outside of the door, where it just has the artificial tree and it's just by the stairs. There's no one there because they're out in the parking lot. They've left. Even if you have to go out to there, then I definitely would. But just figure out one spot that you can get to. Most generally, I doubt it that you'll have to move past the lobby. But if you have to, then I'm just kind of giving you examples where you go next. It could be that you're in a studio apartment, and let's say it's more than one person that you're facialing. Can you go to the kitchen? Can you go somewhere? Is there a small end table near the door? Whatever that is. You know, if you can't, you can't. It's not going to be an all-end thing. Your big key thing is truly, again, what we talked about. Are you asking and closing every single question that you should be? Like, you know, are you actually closing with the sales ticket and asking the three question close, and giving her hostess option? Are you just making sure that you're not forgetting anything? So just being creative and trying to maneuver to a different spot, even if it's not too far away. And if you can't, then it's not the end of the world. The big key thing that I feel that will help you in your close would be for sure is when you have that memorized like the back of your hand, then I feel that you will feel more confident and have more success and wins in your closing. Okay. What I want to help you with too, that could be a deterrent, and the reason why I say this is, and I know we're all praying about it, but I'm not there right now. And so I understand that there are different directors that do different things, and they have different closing sheets than you can. So if you have mastered your individual consultation, and you know exactly, even if the closing is a little bit different, even if their closing sheet is a little bit different, if you still know exactly what your 3-question close is, and you are very strong in that, that's not going to change your individual consultation, right? So that's one thing that will really, really help you, is because you are rock solid in your individual consultation. That's one thing that will help you. Okay, I understand that, and why I think that it's helpful with us doing it this way is with your 3-question close, is everybody has a profile. Even if you have one that you printed, I have several different ones that there's been a scenario where, which is a good problem to have, if you do have this problem where you facialed so many people that you ran out of profile cards and your order is not in yet. Okay, we do have that, you know, where we can just print one out prior to it. Or we have our other ones that had the profile and marketing and everything all in one. Okay, but you're still going to ask the same 3 questions, and that would be, again, you know, is it your number 1, the writing out the glamour or the spa appointment? They've wrote that down, what their preference is, and then they've wrote down off of their closing sheet what it is that they wanted. So you can still ask that, even if, let's say, whatever director has different sets on her closing sheet. You know, you can still ask the question, what was your favorite set? Not what was your favorite. Of course, you're going to write down their wish list of their favorite products, but what's your, you know, if money were no object, what would be your favorite set that you would want to take home today? Okay, what would be really, really helpful for you when you're asking this question that you have right in front of you? That would be this magic little bag, okay, full of your products. Okay, so again, remember, if you only have the one, is remembering besides the paperwork to have your roll-up bag with you. Okay, to help you to master that, besides your 3 questions, you know, it could be something new that you're possibly not doing right now. Is what I do is when I'm at the studio, and if no one else is there, or if there's an extra room, is I set that bag that I was talking about that has my sales tickets, catalogs, all that, and I have an extra roll-up bag that goes over into that room. So that when I walk over from the room that I taught my skincare classes at, even if it's only a double facial, everything is in the other room, and I let them know all my stuff's in there already. It's already set up. It has my what I also do is at that table. And again, you may not have this option because you're at the studio where there's not a little space where your stuff is over there. So that's why think about it after this call is what's in my bag that is all right there. And maybe it's already in that bag, which is totally awesome. But maybe your roll-up bag is missing. Maybe all your paperwork, your hostess package, your hostess special, everything is there. But maybe the one key thing is you don't have the roll-up bag with you to close with. So let's say, for example, one thing that I set out is it's like, I don't have it with me because it's at the studio, but it's just one of those clear little stand-up like presentation things that's just clear, that just holds your piece of paper so that they could see it. So I have that, my hostess special, sitting right next to my roll-up bag with my catalogs when we close. So even if you do not have that, is kind of have your hostess special next to your roll-up bag when you pull your bag out to close them. Like let's say we move to the lobby of the studio. What am I going to pull out of my bag to close right before we have our profile card? We've got our marketing survey, whether you use this one or our old marketing survey, whichever one is going to work, and your referral sheet. Besides those three things to close, what will help you is automatically when you pull out your sales ticket bag, pull out a roll-up bag if you have one. If not, I think all of you at least have one. Use that one and then have your hostess special right there, because that will help you to remember what the special is and to talk about it, okay? That will help you just have it near your roll-up bag as you are mastering your closing. It will help you because it's right there in front of you. So it's just like pulling out the roll-up bag. Have your hostess plan ready. Even if you only have one copy of it, have it right out there with you. I think that'll be very helpful for you. Okay, so you've got your three forms, and they're going to write on the very back of their profile card, you're going to automatically start to do the 3-question close. And they should already have those 3 questions written out if you've taught it and you've asked that before the class have ended. Okay. If you're at the studio, they don't have these written down. So that's why it's important for you to know automatically, not only are you going to say it, but if they have not written it down, this is the first thing you're going to do when you're going to go close them, is have them write those 3 questions out. Then it's helpful for you to not forget anything. And what's important is they have chosen what they have wanted. So they love that they get to pick. And so that's why it'll be helpful for you is to do the 3-question close with them if you're at the studio and they didn't do it there, as you can still do it. So you're still in charge. You're still in control of your final outcome. Okay, so then of course is it's going to be tweaked slightly. Is we did say, and what I would say is have a copy of your closing sheet in your bag as well, which I'm sure all of you already do. Okay, but without having to pull out a recruiting packet to take them. To take, let's say they were rated a 6 or whatever number that they are. you can still have access and easily show them your closing sheet because your starter kit that's on your second page, that is right in front of you. Okay. So when you get to number 3, you can show this. They can look at it really quickly and see everything that comes in it, as well as you can obviously schedule, which I know all of you are really good at that. You've been doing it, which is phenomenal. Is letting them know I'm on target for my very first car. I'm moving up into leadership, whatever it is, and you saying, and I'd love to get your opinion of the products, and I give you a free lip gloss or mascara. So obviously they're going to choose that in number 3. And then when they're talking about that and writing that down, is have this pulled out to show them. Because let's say maybe, and I don't know, you guys tell me, does Carla, Caitlin, and Colleen and the directors there, do they have a picture on the back of their closing sheet of the starter kit, or do they go over it for the guests to see?
And it's been a long time since Colleen has done anything like that, so I don't know.
Okay.
I'm kind of on my own when I'm there with a guest, so I get to do what you've taught us. So yay! Okay. But I don't know what Colleen does.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So one thing that will help you is, it will still help you because you're reeling everything into those 3 questions. Okay. So once you become strong and kind of, even if you're just, again, as you're making a few flashcards to master this, is having even if they're blank, is having your forms ready with you to say, okay, and kind of just role play, whether it's with your daughter or literally nobody has to be here with you, or whether we want to get on a Zoom call and just kind of go over everything individually. You can pretend that I'm one of your customers if you want to. I mean, this is just an option, but it's not any different than when we teach our brand new consultants. Of course, we want you to learn the skincare class 3 times. I want you to watch me do it 3 times. When they do the pearls of sharing, after they've done the 9 to 10 phone calls, then it's more settling in. They're more confident with it. You have there's more a flow, where there's not uneasy feeling. Okay. So even if the documents are different, you still know how to strongly close them because you're still going to ask them, have them pull it out right then and there. What are the 3 things? And of course you're going to say, I know that Colleen didn't mention this, but when you're asking that one question, is I'm moving into management right now, or I'm, of course, winning my very first car. I'm just so super excited. And so right now, my director is helping me that if you give me your opinion of this video, I can send one to you. So I can send you this video, get your opinion of it. We'll schedule a phone call. It only takes like 10-15 minutes, but if you're willing to get your opinion, I love to get people's opinion of our opportunity. It's absolutely changed my life. And so is that something that you would like to do? And I give them a free lip gloss, or you could say my director gives you a free lip gloss and mascara for just giving us your opinion. Write down your lip gloss or mascara on there of what you would like to earn for giving us that. I don't think since we've started doing this, I've never had one person say, no, I don't. Even if they're only rated or 1 or 2, they still want to do it. They have fallen in love with our products. They may have not been able to afford to get the whole $300 roll-up bag, but there are so many products that they want. And so oh, sure, well, I'd love to get that. One thing that I've started doing as well, and this, if it's helpful for you, is I let them either get the lip gloss or mascara. They write that down. But if there's something that I know, and again, it's almost like your sparkler. You just kind of have to have that intuition where You're going to know when you're closing them out. Oh my gosh, this cleansing brush, our Skinvigorate, they have to have, can you tell, you know, they're already asking in the beginning, how much does this cost, right? You know that they love it and they do not want to leave without it. Okay, there's some times where I say, okay, if you give me your opinion, you can choose instead of a lip gloss or mascara that you can get a 50% off item. You never know if that's the one they're going to choose. But if you don't want to add that into it as you are mastering this, then don't even offer it. I'm just saying that I've given that in case there's something there that they absolutely want to have. And you of course, want to remember the 24 to 48 hour. The longer they are away from it, the harder it is to get back in their space again. When you're moving up, time is of essence, as you girls know. Okay, so of course they've selected lip gloss or mascara. Okay, at that point, once you've went over the 3 items, then what you're going to do is, what would be helpful for you is inside of course, you want to remember to not leave your house without your date book. That should be like your money bag. So that when you're scheduling their glamour appointment or their second appointment for their spa product or spa party. Okay, sorry. To let the dogs in. Okay. Okay, so at that point, what you're going to do is you're going to take your date book out. A key factor in scheduling this is, oh, well, I don't know what I have going on next week, is you want to remember, do not say, I'll text you later or I'll follow up with you, even if it's later at 5 o'clock that day. I can tell you the likelihood that it will either take you 3 times longer or you'll lose the booking versus scheduling it right then and there. Okay, I myself have made these mistakes in my career, I would have to say, and so that's why I'm telling you from my own experience, you have to remember, even if you just say, can we just tentatively book it in here until you look at your schedule, because whether you're going to say this is my busiest day of the week, and so I want to make sure that I am available for you. So let's go ahead and, even if we have to pencil it in, book it right then and there. Do not wait and text it, because you're essentially saying, it would be like Mary Kay saying you've left $200 on the table and walking away. That's exactly what happens. So that's one key thing, is schedule it in. Okay, and then at that point, before you move on to the second and the third question is, okay, you are going to take her referral sheet that you have with her names on it. Is this something that you would like a private appointment, or at your follow-up appointment, do you want to invite your friends and you have the opportunity to earn free products? You're letting her choose if she wants all her friends to come and earn free products. And then of course, that's when the hostess comes in. And then you let her know what her options are. I wouldn't go into great detail. This is what my specials are. You know, you have 3 and 4 other people to close out, so you're not explaining the whole, 9 yards of the full page. Well, you can get 25 for this and 25 for that, or the 40, 80, whichever hostess special that you're doing. Do not go over every detail. Just, do you want to earn free products at that? That's the only thing you're going to ask her. Do you want to earn free products when you come back again? When you invite your friends with you, you can earn free products at this appointment. And so let her choose. If she doesn't, then you're obviously going to call and book individually. But that is where hostess comes in, and that's when you know whether you're giving her the hostess package or not, because she selected that she wants her friends to come with her. And you already, what did you just do? You just scheduled her follow-up appointment, it's already on your books. Okay. You could add in there that she's going to earn something for free if she holds her party on this date without rescheduling it. So that you have a greater chance of it being moved or rescheduled. She knows that you're trying to get her to solidify and have a strong booking, right? So that's one thing that you can add in there that will be helpful for you. Okay, now we are moving past question number 1, and now we are going to question number 2. She has selected that she wants the basic set. One thing that I'm doing as well is, and only because I know you girls have done this, and I know you girls do not have the option at some of the appointments at the studio because it's just automatic that they do dash out the door, okay, at the very end. So they've done glamour. I have had appointments where they choose, I want all of it, the dash out the door at my glamour appointment because they want a natural 5-minute look. So they're getting 5-minute fabulous at their second appointment. Even though I don't know what all that entails, but they're choosing that. So I have inside my closing sheet, I don't necessarily need everything that's on there. And so to bring the price point down of our basic set, I'm going to have the website administrator put there's $20 less. So bringing it from 74 or 76. Wait a minute. Yeah. Bringing that price point down because our price point has went up from 44 of the old basic set up to 56 when you're adding in the CC cream or whether it's the matte foundation or luminous, obviously. And so by adding that in there, then obviously it brings the price point of the cheapest item up into the 70s of our smallest package. Okay. So what I'm going to have her do is do the exact same closing sheet, but eliminate and still add it as a small bullet point. Hey there. Add that as a small bullet point so that your basic set is in the 50s because, for example, most recently I had one choose she didn't want to do that until her glamour. And so it's important to bring the price point down if they can't get themselves to the 70s and be able to take that home. So they're going to have an option to add the $20 in, but then it will look into the mid 50s of our basic smallest set. So I'm going to make that minute change, but it's just a small tweak that we're going to do just so that we can offer an additional. The picture of the foundation will still be shown in that set, but it's something that they can add on if they choose to. Because the second set is the miracle set. So you're going from the basic to the miracle, which obviously brings you into over 100. So there'll be a little bit more flexibility with that. Okay, so in the closing of that's when your questions would be, oh, great, I can't wait for you to take that home. And of course, your roll-up bag, so you're romancing it so that they can see it again, because a lot of them want to visually see what comes in the miracle set again. They want to see all of it. And so it's important for you to have your roll-up bag with your sets in front of you so that they can see that. So at that time, once you've seen, you have your sales ticket out of your money bag placed in front of them, and you're going to start writing down what it is that they want. Then, of course, you're going to find out how they want to pay for that. And then what you're going to do after that is you're going to move to question number 3, which is they've selected whether they want a mascara or lip gloss. Oh my goodness, people. Sorry. So they have selected what they would like. At that point is you're going to let them know that you're going to be sending them the video. And that and what's important for you is to schedule their follow-up from the video within 24 to 48 hours. And I know that you girls are doing that, which is great. For example, usually, you're either calling me beforehand or right after your appointment saying, I have these scheduled, and then we go ahead and set that up. And so that's done before you've even left the studio. It's already in the works. And so then when we do the interview, then obviously once they give us their feedback, then they're getting the free lip gloss or mascara. Okay. Let's see. Let me look. Let's see. I just want to make sure I didn't forget anything. I think I went over everything. Okay. So at that point, then you're going to go ahead and bring on the next one. I think I was pretty thorough and gave you lots of different examples. Does anyone have questions so far that we can cover, or you want to go over or have a question?
Really quick.
Yes.
When you are talking to them about how would you like to pay for that, and they're like, oh yeah, I'll do my card. The question would be is, do you write down their credit card information on their receipt and process it at home, or do you do it on the spot just in case to make sure that it clears or not before you leave the location?
That is honestly up to you. I don't know whether you have the little ProPay swipe that you can plug into your phone that you can do immediately. I try to get that ready prior and plugged into my phone so it's really quick. And then you don't have to take the time, because the reason why I say that is, and again, each scenario is different, but I've had an appointment before. Everybody's really funny about credit cards. Some people could go, I'll just send it to you text, and they could care less and don't think anything of it. And some are like, oh no, I'm going to literally call you to give it to you, or I'm going to leave it on your voicemail. And I have had appointments where literally they're like, you're going to write that down. Like, I want you to swipe it right now. I do not want my numbers out. So, that can happen. Usually what I try to do at all my appointments, but again, depending on how big your party is and how much time, like, I know Stacy has told me before at some of Carla's events that they're there 3 hours. And so by that point, that's why it's critical for you to, 1, 2, 3, bam, and you're done. You're quick. You know what I mean? You know what to say, you know what to do. You're not going to feel bad after you've left because you have done everything that you're supposed to do, right? But it's embedded into your mind that and if you get to the point, what's easy for me is training my mind. There's 3 questions I need to ask. And so with the 3, I think that's easier for you to remember, even if you forgot what you do need to ask, is those 3, is 3, 3, 3. What are those 3? Even if it's waiting in the car loop for your kids. Okay, what are my 3? Until you finally remember that. Or, a key thing is, if you're learning something new, what I've done before is right before I go into the studio on my drive there, I'm listening to that Voxer or that training message to make sure it's fresh in my mind that I'm not going to forget exactly those 3 questions. Okay, so that's something that can help you as well too. It might be you didn't have time to study, and so it might be on your way to the studio, and that's okay, but it's fresh in your mind that you're not going to forget. So with you being quick on your toes, that, whether, Colleen or Carla or somebody took an extra long time in your class, that you're going to quickly get them out the door. And what are those 3 things? is the sales, booking their second appointment before they leave. And then again, the third question is that, and if you have to sign them up. So by you quickly writing those numbers down, if I am in a rush, I don't have time to be inputting it, so I might have to write it down. You know, most of the time it's kind of rare that the card does not go through. It's been there has been times where the card didn't go through, and then I get home and for some reason there was something wrong, whether it was a card or an expiration, and they fix it. So it's really rare that you're not going to get the money. But you could run it before if you have time. So you're going to have to know, because each class is different, whether you have time to do that. If you do have time, I always strongly suggest either having your card reader on your phone and doing it really quickly, or just writing it down, their information, and processing it right then and there. A big key thing is to remember is if they're doing a payment plan, they're doing like 50%. You got to remember on their sales ticket, right under their credit card, what is the date that you're running the second one? Because I don't even call them on that date. It's just, I put it in my calendar in my date book, and I know automatically when I'm running their payment. And some of you might not even be offering that right now, and that's okay. It's according to your own business. But if you did offer them a payment plan to get that roll-up bag so that they could purchase $200 versus $50 today, then they've chosen to do the payment plan. Okay, and again, you can choose, and they'll ask you like, wow, I can do a payment plan. I surely can't do that at the mall, right? So then you let them know, are you doing it in 2 payments? How many payments are you going to allow them? And how long, are you going to allow them at some? So you have to remember too, is ask the questions up front. Is like one of my last appointments that I just did, she only gets paid once a month. She didn't choose a payment plan. But most generally, what I say is I give them example. If they're doing a payment plan, usually they'll say, okay, I get paid every 2 weeks. Usually what I say is clients will choose on their pay date. But you tell me when your pay dates are, because you're not going to allow someone to pay in a month from now if, that were the case. So remember, you're the one that you're the business owner and you're choosing if that is an option. Okay. So don't even give them that option if that were the scenario, because you just wouldn't even want to go there. Okay. So, is that helpful?
Yeah. Basically, it just depends on the appointment and how you were doing on time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll look into the ProPay swipe thingy. It's been a while since I've looked into that. So
I would look just from your Mary Kay in Touch. The options should be on there from what I recall last, or you can call the 800 number and they'll get you one out. Because what's nice is they'll give it to you according to your phone.
Okay.
For the adapter, and it's really easy. And just remember, what I would do is kind of play around with it before you took it. If you don't have it, for example, for you, is you want to make sure so that you're not taking the time, which doesn't take long time to set up. What I did was, when I was at seminar and I got a new one for my newest phone, is they just hooked it up automatically right there at ProPay stand and just input it. But you want to remember, and it doesn't take long. It's very, very easy. And I know you're very tech savvy, but you just want to make sure that you put your sales tax in there. So, yeah. So that when you do run it, the sales tax is in there, and it automatically does it for you, which is nice. So it is fast. It's a swipe. The tax is added in there, and it's quick and it's easy. So it doesn't take long. It's literally faster than writing down their credit card number. But it's, it's individual. And again, timing is critical in your closing. Okay, does anyone else have any other questions? I hope it was very thorough and helpful for you.
Wonderful.
Okay, anyone else?
No.
Well, good. Okay, I'll send you the recording so that you can hear the beginning of the closing.
Okay, sorry. I was at a doctor's appointment, so I didn't make it in time to start.
No worries. We're glad that you did. Okay, so we're going to do also remember that we have about a week left for the month for double credit for your sales as well as your sharing. So I know that you have appointments, so there's still a lot that can be done within the last month. There's one additional thing that I'm going to put out. It's similar to the 24-hour challenge where they can choose different products, but it's really cute flyer where it has, you know, different Halloween things like a little lion or whatever on top of the mascara or something to make it fun. But it's going to help you where it's a challenge that will help you with sales. For example, we can use Amanda. You know, she might not be still on bed rest. And so this could be something that will help her if she's not to be able to get in front of clients, that you can still, or you can piggyback. You can do appointments as well as increase your sales because of course sales are doubled this month. So how can you max that out? So strategize as a business owner. How can I piggyback my sales on top of my appointments that I'm doing? Is this something for my customers that I'm not necessarily, they're not new, but I'm not going to get in front of them? That you can make it fun, that will help. And this is a week long, so it's from now until the end of the month. So instead of a 24-hour, it is, and it's 2 different things. So pick. I'll say I'm going to post some shortly after. But what it is, it's more of the glamour in one, and the one flyer is just for like the different masks that we offer. Masks for obviously for Halloween. So choose which one. If you, and again, you don't have to do this, but we're just putting it out there to give you more options to help you really max out your sales. As well as your month, to be able to double that up. And again, you can piggyback on it, but I'll post those as well as some scripts and different scenarios. So choose if you do want to go with it, but I just want to let you know that will be out there and be posted. So let me know if you have questions once they're out there. But again, it's just to help you as well as get in front of existing ones to make it fun with Halloween. They might not be getting your Halloween goodie bag, but you know, they could still take advantage and feel included in your Halloween sales as well. Okay, have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.